Hey, it's Garrett,
It's Andrea.
and welcome to the Daily Devotional.
Yeah. How long ago did we start pastoring?
Oh my gosh,
It'll be 14 years
14 years.
this year.
Yeah, this year.
So 14 years ago, we decided to do our first marriage retreat for the church.
Uh-huh.
We fully believe in like helping marriages and all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
If they could see a picture of us, we were babies.
Yeah, we were so young when we did
Like
this.
we look like teenagers.
Yeah.
We didn't feel like teenagers, but we definitely looked that way. So I remember we rented out a campgrounds. We were scrimping and saving with the church money, and we didn't even fully charge people the correct amount.
Right.
We didn't even know how to do that.
Yeah.
We went to this campgrounds, and there were no cooks on site. The cook was me. We decided to have, was it like a 2-day or it was a 3-day?
We did a 3-day event. Yeah.
3-day marriage retreat at this campgrounds. I was the cook, so I cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we had like 8 couples, or no, 7 couples, because including us.
Yeah.
That went. It was a beautiful campground. So we went there, we played games, we did everything, we got it done. But it, looking back, that was insane.
It was we really had no business even speaking into people's marriages at that point. We had only been married we were going on 4 years.
Right.
And so we were so young. But it was so much fun. People came, they enjoyed it, they love it. We still do the retreats today.
Yeah.
But we've definitely changed a few things.
Yeah.
Because you were exhausted because you were taking everything, and as soon as we would get cleaned up for one meal, we're starting on the next, and we were just doing that and still trying to organize, keep the retreat going, and so people aren't just sitting around.
I wanted to do everything from scratch. I thought that I'm gonna invest in their marriages, which was so sweet of me. I wish I was that kind now. I mean, I want to invest in marriages, but I didn't get frozen lasagna. But I was I'm gonna do everything from scratch. But it's so funny to think back on, because you're right. You were getting all your messages together, and these people have been married for I don't know, as long as we have now.
Some maybe longer than we were alive at that point. I don't know. I don't remember who all. Some
and
had
they
been.
listened, and they sat there, and it's so, when you think back on that, there's people at that point who had left the church because we were just too young to be pastors, and then you have people who went to a marriage retreat and let us invest into their marriage. It's just the funniest thing, but it's also so sweet. I don't know. It's good memories. It's funny memories. And we're going to talk about marriage today. And so I think we're going to talk about it here in a second, but I think we need to understand why it's important to the Lord here, but why it's not something that is in heaven. Which is when I say that, it makes me go, ooh, because I love you. And I to think about not being married in heaven is so foreign. And it's so weird because I've made a covenant before God to say, hey, you're my person, but also you're my best friend.
You're my favorite person.
Right.
And so it's weird to think about that we wouldn't be married. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So let's get into it, and we'll talk about why. And it's a really cool reason why.
Right. So just a little context. In Matthew 22, the Sadducees were trying to trap Jesus with various questions. And Sadducees, they didn't believe in the resurrection. They didn't believe in miracles. They didn't believe in angels. None of this stuff. And so they were just trying to trap Jesus. And one of the things they tried to do was with the marriage idea. They said, they gave this outrageous scenario of a woman having 7 different husbands and all of them dying. They gave this outrageous scenario that is so unlikely to happen just to be frustrating. But Jesus took this a whole different direction and said, you're not understanding what this life's about. And as much as we love being married, and as much as Andrea is my absolute best friend and my favorite person in the world, Jesus is trying to say, but there's so much more to what we see here on the earth. As much as we love each other here, and as much as we care for each other, and we feel here, man, the love is 100%, we're at the max. Jesus is saying, but there's more. So I don't know. I wanted to hear what you have to say on that.
So a point that Matthew makes multiple times, you'll hear, is, and the crowds were astonished. And I think something we have to understand is that when we get to heaven, in a consistent, I think, way, we're going to be consistently astonished with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And God made it to where here on earth we need each other. He's created it to where we need each other. He's created it to be a bond like we'll have with him. I love you, but like I don't consistently astonish you. I mean, that would be crazy if I'm like, if you're like, whoa.
No, I'm always
whoa.
astounded by you.
I said astonished.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, but for real, like, I mean, if you, that would be worship. That would be a heart issue if you were consistently like to where you couldn't do anything, right? But if we read in Matthew, he's making the point that says the crowds were astonished by what he said. The crowds were astonished by what Jesus did. When we are the bride of Christ, when we get to heaven, like we have to understand that. Like we are going to be astonished by what's going on in heaven. It's not fluffy clouds and cherubs and all this stuff. We're not going to be bored. We're going to be astonished for eternity by what God is doing. We're not going to have time to sit there and be like, so what's the plan for today, Garrett? Like,
Right.
It's going to be different. We're not going to be in a place where sin is consuming us and the weight of the world. It's literally going to be light and lifted, and astonishment is going to be consuming us with Christ. And I'm going to know you. I'm going to still be your friend.
Yeah.
We're still going to be buddies. I'm pretty sure you can live in the garage of my mansion if you'd like to.
So you're going to friend zone me in heaven? Is that what you're saying?
No, but like I'll know you how you are known.
Yeah.
And I believe that there will be a bond because spiritually, I believe we fought spiritual wars together. And this isn't biblical, but I believe that there will be. I'll know you how you are known. Like, I'll know you.
We'll know our family. We'll have our family there in heaven. But the glory of heaven cannot even be compared to what we think is glory here.
Right. You're going to be astonished. I'm going to be astonished. Our kids are going to be astonished. And I'm not going to be sitting there trying to distract you from your amazement of God. That would be sin.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just think if we can have that perspective and say, wait a second, I'm going to be distracted by God. Like, it's not going to be like it is now. Right now, it's easily to get distracted by things on this earth.
Yeah.
But in heaven, that's not a thing. It doesn't exist that way.
Yeah.
It operates in a different way. And we have to understand that, and we have to let our minds go, oh, okay, I just can't comprehend that right now.
Right. Yeah, we can't comprehend the fact that our total completeness will be found in him, and we will lack nothing because of him. And what we can seemingly lack here now, when we look for it in relationships or in people, we can even find that in God now.
Yeah.
But we will lack nothing, and there's nothing on earth that can compare to that. And so it's nothing to be sad about, because we just trust God to know whatever it is that he has for us there is going to be even greater than here. And that must be really great, because honestly, like, we love each other. We are great friends, and we know that God's put us together, and so, man, he's really got something great.